Hey folks, happy Tuesday to you. We continue our FUMCCV devotional on Tuesday, January 25th. We're talking about grace and the ways in which we experience God's grace, receive God's grace, live God's grace. And today, the prompt says this: family and private prayer. One of the ways that we receive the grace, that we experience God's grace, is in family and private prayer. Then the question is, why is it important to talk to God and to listen for God's voice? And there's, let's see, 5 different scriptures. We're going to be all over the Bible today. So invite you to open up in your Bible. We're going to start in 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. I'll give you a chance to get there. It's way back at the end of your Bible, and just a couple pages before Revelation. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on God because God cares for you. Cast all your anxiety on God because God cares for you. Psalm 6:9. Psalm 6:9. Psalms is right in the middle of your Bible. Psalm 6, verse 9. The Lord has heard my supplication. The Lord accepts my prayer. So this promise that God is hearing us. Matthew 18. Now go to the Gospel of Matthew. So back over into the New Testament. Gospel of Matthew chapter 18. Verse 19 and 20. Matthew 18, 19, and 20. Again, truly I tell you, if two of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am there among them. Which talks about a family that, this is, speaking to the reality of families that surround their life around God, that as they gather together, that it will increase their sense and the presence of God in their midst. All right, 1 John. Now, go back to where you were just in Peter, and the books after Peter are the books of 1 John, is the book of 1 John. 1 John chapter 5, verse 14. And this is the boldness we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. Now hang on to that. He hears us. All right, and then finally, John chapter 10, Gospel of John. So go back towards the beginning. The Gospel of John chapter 10, verses 2 through 4. The one who enters by the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep hear his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. So all these passages about prayer, about supplication, about asking for God, about God hearing, and that 1 John passage, I want to bring our attention back to there. Anything that we ask, God hears, or we can have confidence that God hears us. That doesn't necessarily mean that God answers us in the way we want, but God hears us. This sense in prayer is not so much that we ask and therefore we get whatever we want, but rather in prayer, we are laying our lives before God, and we are communicating our intentions and our desires to God, and then we are opening ourselves that we might receive the response of God, and that we would receive it as God's will in our life. That once we give the prayer up, that we're done with am I going to get what I want? or not, once we give the prayer up, all we're looking for is that we're going to get the response that God sees best for our life. And so part of the grace that we receive in life, we certainly receive that in prayer, in community, by ourselves. So you're doing that right now. This is your devotional time, is a time in which certainly I hope that you receive, that you feel the grace of God being given to you. God bless. Have a great day.